Haven't been inside a Chick-fil-A?
Oh.
Wow.
So anytime you see an X, you plug in -3.
You didn't know that? Like, boy, you're so sus.
And then you get your answer. So if you're plugging X in, you should just get your answer.
Shreds, tell her how sus she is.
2 times -3.
2 times -3?
-6 plus 7?
1.
1.
Yeah,
So your answer is what?
It's 1.
So as function notation, if it's in parentheses, you're plugging it in for X. And so if you were to graph this, you would have a point. What you plugged in was -3. What you got out was 1. Your input was -3. Your output was 1.
Okay.
The answer is 1. I should unbox that. Answer is 1.
Bro, so you better not say it. Low-key want to get so that.
So for questions 1 through 6, we're going to use these two functions. F of x equals -5x minus 14. G of x equals -x squared plus 9x minus 1. So I'm going to the f function. I'm plugging in -9. F function. If you don't have a calculator today, you need one.
Hey, pass me one, Eliana. Number 15, girl. What you got in your ear? One. Did y'all see that girl that fell on the freaking stairs, bro?
Yeah. So just putting this in the calculator. -5 minus 9 minus 14.
Like, that was, like, so funny
31.
watching that happen. And then she said, "Help!"
All right.
That was so funny. I said, "Look,
2.
she fell on the stairs." I said, "Ah."
You're going to the f function, -5. Anytime you see an x, you're plugging in 3/10.
Where's the equation?
Right here.
Oh. If he asks you out within 2 weeks, then just go ahead and break up with him. Not the one. Just want to let you know. It has to be at least 2 months. Trust me. You gotta build your relationship.
All right.
Shut the freak up.
G. Now we're going to the G function. Make sure you don't go to the f.
Like, hey, you really dating nerds. Like,
When you plug it in, put it in parentheses so you don't mess it up. In my calculator, if you use parentheses and they're not needed, they'll just go away.
Next wolf.
And I put that whole thing in the calculator. I saw some people messing up in my last class because they would put this in the calculator and then this in the calculator, and then they'd make a mistake somewhere in the middle. But you can just enter that whole thing into the calculator all at once.
Do you believe that, Miss Rose? You went to El Jalisco first. Like, that's even worse. You don't take a girl to freaking El Jalisco on the first date.
No, he did not.
Are you serious? You're so cringe. I know that's true because you're smiling. Like, boy.
Go to the G function, plug in -7. If you do not use parentheses on this one, you'll get the answer wrong.
Nix, I thought you weren't cringe.
What
I
is
didn't
it?
think you were cringe last year, but then now.
Say it again.
Wow.
Not 13.
What happened, Nix? You got so cringe.
I know.
What do you mean by
Huh?
what do you
I gotta turn my music back on. I cannot deal with it. Nixie Wixie.
Put it in parentheses. I'm showing you if you don't put in parentheses.
Honestly, how would that be? Literally. A few shots that don't would do it, Nix.
So that's not right
My dog chewed up my AirPods. They had a freaking.
because we have to put it in parentheses.
Wait, so you're just picking a random one?
What do you mean I'm picking a random one?
Chewed up my freaking AirPods.
I didn't choose anything randomly.
So you did the first 3 with the first.
Shut
three
up,
and the last
Nixie
two.
Wixie.
It told me to.
Have you tried?
Yeah.
I can't read that.
Wire? You use wires? I don't speak, bro.
So, okay, right here it's telling you use F. Use the F function. Use the F function. Then down here it says use the G function.
That makes some sense.
So -113. On 5, we're going to do f of 1, find out what that is. Do f of -4, find out what that is, and then subtract them. No, it's not. F of 1
So aggressive.
and F of -4. F of 1, -19. F of 4, missed negative. -24? No, 34? 6? Oh, I missed a negative. I was wrong. I'm sorry. It was a -5, so you're right, 6. I missed a negative.
Taco Bell.
My bad.
You did.
And then make sure you put it in the right order. F of 1 is -19 minus 6, -25. This you can't. The last 4 we could, but this one, yeah.
So we're not doing 6.
6.
Are we not doing it?
Yeah, we are.
Donda.
6. We're going to the G function and plugging in 12, getting an answer, and then going to multiply that by 2. So we're going to go to the G function and plug in 12.
Oh.
We're going to get an answer.
Like, boy, that's them flawless dreams.
Say it again. Yes. And then go back over here. And brackets are the same thing as parentheses. You're just using brackets because you already have a set of parentheses in there. -74. All right, you do 7 through 10. You do
Like-
7 through 10.
I would probably go.
Yeah, finish that page.
I would probably
Finish that
go
page.
myself. If I was a girl and he took me to Chick-fil-A for the first date, like,
You're saying you don't like Chick-fil-A?
It literally wasn't even
I hate
the first
Chick-fil-A.
date.
That's why you're so upset about it. You don't
no, I'm either way. If I love Chick-fil-A, like, still.
It was the
Drop.
first date.
7 through 10. You do 7 through 10. See if you can get it.
Hang on.
There's a lot of just using calculators, but it's still good now. That's not right. It is.
Thanks.
You should get a fraction for the first one.
What are your thoughts on mini golf?
Mini golf is good. What a loser. What a freaking loser, bro. Tell him, Chopper.
So since this is already -2, and then
Tell him, Chopper.
would be minus -2.
It'll be minus and then in parentheses -2 squared.
Oh yeah.
Beans.
Anytime you plug in a number, use parentheses and you'll be less likely to mess up.
Yeah. That was good. Plug it off.
Yeah, not resonating yet.
They're gonna make a beatbox.
Big number. Nice. So if you have this landscaping company at your house for 2 years, it's going to cost you $1,884 for 2 years. For how long would it take for $2,994? Am I plugging that number in or say my equation equal to it? Equal to it. Because we're trying to solve for t. We're trying to find out how much time. We know it's over 24 months. And you said 39 months. So 3 years. 3 years for 2,000. Let's round up. $3,000. 3 years for $3,000. Going to the f function, I'm going to plug in c plus 2. So anytime I see an x, I'm going to plug in c plus 2 and then just simplify. This really showed me that we're lacking in simplifying in our algebra skills in my last class. Like 20, not one person got 20 right. Minus 8 plus 9.
I got 20, right?
Go ahead, try 20.
Wait, on this paper? Oh, for the test.
No, not on the test. On this paper.
Bro, I don't even want you to get right now.
They just didn't tell me. Going to the f function, plugging in 7w minus 5. Going to the f function, plugging in 7w minus 5. And I messed up because there's a plus 9. Nice. I'm going to the g function, and everyone's like, oh, I can do this. And then they start asking questions. And we have to simplify that. So that's your algebra skills. How do we simplify that?
How you square y cubed? Just that's y 6 now.
Nice. It is y to the 6th. Remember, when you raise a power to a power, you multiply. So 3 to the 2nd is 6. And what about negative 4 squared?
Negative 16.
16. So when you raise a power to a power, you multiply. That's x to the a times b is how you solve this rule. X to the a times b. That's the rule that was applied.
Boy, you're so sassy, baka baka. You're sassy baka. Just a sassy baka.
19. How do you square a minus 3?
You do this, you square the 3, and then you square the.
You square the 3 and then you square the negative, right? Or did it?
Mm-mm. When you square something, how do you square it? Like what's 3 squared? Multiply it by itself. So a minus 3 times a minus 3, right?
The whole thing.
Hold on. Minus 5. That's literally what I just said.
We're missing half of it. So you did A times A and 3 times 3, but this A
You
is
gotta do
getting
A times
multiplied
3 and then
to the negative
3 times
3,
A.
and this negative 3 is getting multiplied to that A. There should be A here, sorry.
It's,
So remember, when you multiply a binomial times a binomial, you get 4 terms. So 2 times 2 gives you 4 terms. So A has to be distributed to both terms in the second parentheses, and negative 3 has to be distributed to both terms in the second parentheses.
What the world?
Mm-hmm. Combine like terms, and that's your answer.
don't tell me that you love me if you ain't love me. Say it one more time.
Go to G,
Yeah.
plug in 2m plus 1. Simplify that. Just like we had to simplify it up here. And then we'll go to F, plug in 3m minus 7.
So much pain in my body. Yeah. Don't tell me that you love me if you ain't love me. You told me to leave, why don't you lie to me?
You go ahead and try to simplify 2m plus 1 times 2m plus 1. Just like we did up here. 2m has to get multiplied to 2m. 2m times 2m? 4m. 4m squared. 2m's with it. 2m times 1? 2m. 1 times 2m? 2m. 1 times what? And we'll just bring down the negative 5.
Zane.
So this is 4m squared plus 4m minus 4? It's a lot of 4's.
You're so sus. I think so sus, ninja.
And we'll simplify this one. A lot easier. Just distribute.
Can I get you some water now? Since we're done. We're done on those, right?
As soon as we finish this one.
Uh,
28 plus 9, 37. The last thing we have to do is subtract them. We have to subtract this one minus this one.
Too much pain in my body. Yeah.
So we have 4m squared. 4m minus negative 12.
4m minus, like 4m or 4m?
4m minus negative 12.
Or it's negative 16m.
Positive.
Oh, it's or is it a positive 4?
Positive 16m. Negative 4 minus 37.
Negative 4 minus 37. It's 41. Negative.
Negative 41.
Very active today, class.
And for the people who had to watch this video, I'm sorry that I forgot to unpause it a few times. I'm getting better at it, but my bad.